everyone, Dylan here, star of Call Me Mental. No, I'm just joking. This is my first video blog. I'm going to be addressing uh, kind of a generalization of Call Me Mental. First and foremost, I want to give a thanks to everybody for their support and their feedback. A lot of the feedback's been obviously very positive, but also kind of eye-opening. There's a lot of stories, there's a lot of people engaging us and kind of pushing us to make this project grow, which is helpful, always helpful. The support you guys are all giving us means the world. It means a lot. I can't really thank you other than expressing my thanks. I don't know how else to do it. You guys have already given us so much support and backing, and it's hard to ask for more. We're asking $10,000 on our Kickstarter right now. That's for us. That's to get us on the road, and the Kickstarter means a lot. It means everything. It means the beginning of this project and moving forward. As of right now, we're almost plan Bing it because we've had to take a few steps back due to restriction in our funds. We're kind of running on empty almost. So anything helps. You can donate to our Kickstarter or off our website. It's obviously for a great cause. It's something that's near and dear to my heart. It's something that affects more people than any of us actually know. So many of us living with mental illnesses don't come forward in fear of scrutiny, in fear of judgment, in fear of a lot of things. Because of that, I think the numbers are skewed a little bit. Our motto is 1 in 4 adults will experience a mental illness in a given year, but I truly believe it's much, much higher. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't have a degree. I'm not a doctor, but as many of you that have come forward, as many of you I would have never guessed to have these problems, it's opening my eyes, and I could say that everybody's affected by a mental illness in some way or another. For those of you that don't know, the goal of this documentary is to be a platform for a campaign to derail the stigma of mental illness. With the documentary, we're hoping to show the commonality again of mental illness. How many people struggle with these problems on a day-to-day basis? How many of us hide it? How many of us are afraid? We're trying to shed light on that. We're trying to show everybody, people uneducated about these things, people living with them. We're trying to show everybody that it's more common than we know, and that it shouldn't be a judgment thing. It shouldn't be any different than any other physical ailment you have. It can be helped, and that this project really should be catapulted into a very large audience. It has to be. It needs to be started. We're trying to start it, and we really need your help. So, again, please help us with the funding. Myself, I've dealt with double depression only recently, and by recently I mean the past few years have I been diagnosed and knew what I was dealing with. Prior to that, I just knew there was something wrong, and until I was diagnosed, I didn't seek help. Help, which is the overall personal goal for Joe, Dave, and I. We want to help people. Joe and Dave want to help people. They make these documentaries, and this is their job. You know, this is the path they chose. They want to shed light on things that need to be seen by people. We can't help something that we don't know is a problem. That's where we come in. That's where I'm hoping I can make a stand. I'm hoping that I can show people how passionate I am about these things, about helping people. It's on my mind every day I wake up, and I've known for a long time that that's what I need to do. That's where my calling is. is helping people. For a long time, I thought it was financial freedom, financial success. That with that, I could help so many more people, and that's still a goal of mine. That's still something I'm passionate about, to become financially stable enough um, to help others significantly. With this project, it's finally in front of me. It's finally something that I've been passionate about. That it's within my grasp, and I can do something. I can finally shine. I can finally take something on and succeed, and not give up when it gets hard. Which, as of right now, it's getting pretty hard. Each hurdle is getting bigger and bigger, and we're having to become more and more creative. So moving along, I want to talk about the first episode. The first episode we just released, which is my story. It was a generalization. I knew going into this that the time allotted to these episodes was going to be between 5 and 10 minutes. I had a lot of subject matter to kind of sift through, that Joe and Dave did a lot of editing, and they brought it down to about 10 and a half minutes. Initially, that kind of like irked me. It kind of, how can somebody really see who I am in 10 minutes? It was almost insulting. I knew that beginning. I knew some of us who are telling our stories were going to be kind of a little upset with it, because you're taking someone's entire life, condensing it to 10 minutes. But if you think about that, it's kind of what they had to do with any full feature-length movie based off of books. You can't put every single detail that's in a book. Take Lord of the Rings, for example. They left out a lot of stuff, and those movies were still 3 to 4 hours long, depending on extended cuts or not. Anyway, nerdiness aside, I'm okay with it now. It was a generalization, and it showed the outline of important things that I've been to that were key factors in my mental health. And because of it, a lot of you gave me positive feedback. A lot of you loved the episode. There's so much more I want to say about my life. There's so much more that I need to say, and hopefully through these video blogs, I'll be able to show all of you who I am. It's something that is therapeutic for me, and I'm hoping it becomes therapeutic for us all, that we no longer have to hold back all this stuff, that we think we do, that we're afraid to let go of. So, again, the episodes, perhaps in some aspects, will delve pretty far into someone's life, depending on how much they've ever opened up, and, depending on who we meet, who they are. But the overall goal of these episodes is to put a face to this story, is to show us all what people struggle with, certain mental illnesses, certain day-to-day functions, difficulties. It's meant to show people. When we get our website fully up and running, that's when the storytelling really gets fun. That's when it's going to be much more in-depth. You'll be able to tell as much as you want, and perhaps other people will see that and say, hey, I've experienced something similar to that, and perhaps we can create a community. And that's our overall goal of this campaign, is to create a community that, instead of scrutinizing, we want to lend a hand, want to help other people, and see it from their point of view. Moving on, there was a certain paragraph or two written on my story, my written story, that comes from a relative of mine, and it's something I'll respond to in time, when I've thought long and hard about it without acting rashly. It's my personal opinion that it was taken out of context, and that it might not have been said in the right way. Perhaps it should have been in a message. But it's something I'll deal with in time here. I know some of you have asked, when's the next episode coming out? When can I expect to see more? And the truth is, I personally do not know. As I might be the face of this project at the moment, as you all see this project initially on the first episode, I don't have a lot of pull. I'm in the background. I'm working on it. I'm trying to cement my stance. I'm trying to cement myself as the right person for the job. I truly believe I am. It's how do I portray that? How do I let these people know that, their trust in me isn't misplaced? This is something I need to do. This is something I feel I'm capable of doing. I think I'm quite intelligent. I think there may not be a better person for the job. Perhaps there's someone with a lot more experience. But I look in at myself and I say, this is something you've wanted for a long time, to be able to reach out and help like-minded people as you. And as introverted as I am, I think a little belief in myself is warranted. I think I've doubted myself long enough, and I hope that I show you guys that I'm the right man for the job, that this is something I'm passionate about and something, I can finally do, and it shows my character. I guess I can further that by saying that the path I believe I'm supposed to take, when I leave this life, I want to make sure that I've bettered it. I want to make sure I've bettered, maybe not the whole world, maybe not half the world, but someone's world. I changed someone's life for the better, that I came in, perhaps I struggled a bit, but I found myself, and because of it, I was able to better people, that I wasn't taking advantage of people that so many people in charge do, that I can show hope and show kindness is the right path, and not selfishness. And the last time I was really low, when I started writing the blog, what happened was that I felt so alone that I needed to look outward to see if there was anybody else in the world who felt like me, if there was somebody that not feeling as bad as I did. I mean, feeling like the world was such a hard place to be in, but no matter what, they never lost themselves, they never changed who they were to be in this world. It was that feeling of being alone that just kind of drove me to depression, and I found it in Lights. I found it in a musician, a Canadian pop musician named Lights. As most of you know who know me anyway, I love her. I have the utmost respect for her, and some of you might say an obsession. I guess I wouldn't go that far, but she means the world to me, not because she's beautiful, not because the music she makes, all things I enjoy, all things I love, but because of the person she is. She's traveled the world. She traveled all throughout her childhood. She was born into a missionary family, and she grew up in the Philippines, and she grew up all over the world, and finally she came back home, started making music, started changing people's lives, but she did it with grace, she did it with humility, something I felt like was missing in my life. I didn't know many people of that character, and she holds herself to be a shining light, pun intended, I suppose. She holds herself to be a caring person. She'll never let herself be uncaring to her fans, to anybody. She deeply cares about people, and she is what I needed. She is what I found, and through her, I wanted to emulate that. I wanted to emulate what she meant to me to other people. I wanted to be that glimmer of hope to someone else that she was to me and still is. Because of that, I started blogging. I started choosing the path to be strong. I want to be strong for other people. I want them to see that I am someone you can rely on. And this project really is the stepping stone for that to be possible for me. It's really what will jettison this path that I've taken. Every one of you that's contacted me or us, I try to respond. I try and read all of your comments and all of your stories. And because we're in such beginning stages of this project, it's hard for me to keep up at times. And I truly want to respond and make sure you understand that I hear you and I see your comments and I see your stories and I read them. I'm not always capable of getting back to you, and I try to in a timely manner. So in ending, I just wanted you guys to know that this was a generalization. This is, the opening video blog. I want to make these a continuous thing. Either, if I can't do it every day, every week, I'll try and do it as often as I can, but between videos and, typing, just regular blog entries, I'm hoping I can reach out and you guys can learn to get to know me. You can hear the rest of my story, everything that I want to be told about it, and show you my perspective and show you the way I believe we can help each other and further not only this project but just ourselves, further the means of helping ourselves. I don't always have the answers. I don't always know, everything, but what the knowledge I do have, I'm willing to, share. So hopefully you guys like this video blog.